Referendum is a key. Referendum is a key. Salva, be ready. Instant joy. Tariq, be ready. Instant joy. Sudanas, be ready. Instant joy. Malakal, be ready. Instant joy. Tariq, be ready. Instant joy. Juba, be ready. Instant joy. Yambio, be ready. Instant joy. Marai, be Kani.
يا جماعة لا
يا كراك كتير بقى
ما ما كلمة
I like people from Quebec. We want them to teach us how to make a good referendum. Unfortunately, they lost, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, well. But at least they know the basics. How
the
to,
Canadians want
how to set it.
So you want the Canadians to teach you?
We want to look and set it very well for success.
Asma. Karen Koi. Karen.
My name is Philip Tongun, yes.
Okay.
Yes, the pharmacist in town. And I'm very happy to meet you guys. And happy to know that you're Canadians too.
No, black Canadian. No, black Canadian.
Black Canadian, a black Canadian and white one.
Okay, doctor.
Not a Quebecois, but you live in
I live in Quebec, but I'm not from there.
You're not from
See?
It's good.
Okay, Philip.
Thank you. I would just like to pass my best compliments to all our population in Canada and to inform them that we are going to the last minutes of our struggle. What we need at the moment is for us to have concrete solidarity among ourselves and also to communicate every aspect of the developments that are taking place here so that we can be able to share together. We are determined, especially you people of South Sudan. We have come a long way, and on the 9th of January 2011, we are making a final destiny in the history of our people. I think all of us have the responsibility to ensure that the referendum is held on time and it is free, transparent, and to the best interest of our people. To us, we have no worry. We have done a lot of homework. We have reached the Bomas, the Payams, the counties, and the states of South Sudan. We know for sure we are going to make it. So on your side, for the diasporas, I think you also do what you can be able to do, especially in countries where you are allowed to vote. You vote wisely, and of course I don't need to tell you. Dr. John Greng, before his death, has already informed us of what decision we should be able to make. For us here, especially in Greater Equatoria, we are expecting 100% vote for secession of the South. Thank you very much.
Your name?
I am Natishulo Luke Manir, the Deputy Governor and Minister of Local Government, Eastern Equatoria State. We in Eastern Equatoria State, we have already made the ground. That is where the journey they started in 1955, and we are completing the journey on the 9th January 2011.
Thank you.
Going to work towards that and make sure that we set up good relationship with our people, whether they're from the north or from the south in the state, is to work for an independent Southern Sudan that will live in good relationship, good partnership with the rest of the people. We're very happy that our leaders have vowed that they are not going to go for war. And Bashir, I think, has been described recently as moderate when it comes to the case of the North and the South, and when it comes to the case of having the country divided. He says, well, if the South becomes independent, he will be among the first to come and celebrate with us. He has been, recorded as saying this many times. And I think Elis Mataha also has been, a little bit moderate in the way he deals with issues. But there are fanatics in the North who beat the drums of war, and that's not going to help them, because if anything goes wrong, it's going to be very expensive on both sides. The war will be more costly than peace. Why not choose peace? We want to work towards peace, and I'm convinced that peace will be sustained in this country, and that there's no scare of war. So you go ahead with your plans to invest in Southern Sudan, attract more friends who might want to come and do the same thing or do more things in Southern Sudan. Agriculture, we are okay in terms of agricultural land. We have a lot of arable land. We have a lot of potentials. We have mineral potentials. We have areas that are known to be having gold in Central Equatorial State. We have got areas that are viable and can produce a lot of iron in this state. We have got areas that I think can produce even uranium and other minerals of value in Central Equatorial State. And don't be deceived, our state also literally floats on oil. People like Talisman and the rest of the companies who now come and invest in Central Equatorial State and get the oil from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you very much.
Questions, you're free to ask.
Yes.
One of the greatest traditional knowledge and wisdom that my grandfather taught me was that of hunting. And he says the greatest achievement you can have as a hunter is to spear and kill an elephant. And elephants have defined routes that they would follow. And when hunting an elephant, you climb up a tree with your biggest and the heaviest spear that you may even have to handle with 2 hands. And you wait until the elephant comes under the tree, then you release the spear in between the 2 front legs, because that is directly where the heart is likely to be located. And so when you strike from there, you will actually spear the heart, and the elephant will not stay for long. However, when you're waiting for this elephant and you're up the tree, ready to spear the elephant, there are always insects, little insects, and they creep up your leg and they looked for the most delicate, sensitive parts of your body. And they'll begin working on you as a man, and you know how it will pain. So you have to make a decision. Do you pay attention to the elephant and kill it, or do you pay attention to the insects that are causing you problems, irritating you? The old man told me, you better squeeze the insects in between your legs, but concentrate on your major target, the elephant, because that is going to be your greatest achievement in records. You spear the elephant, kill the elephant. When the elephant has fallen, then you can check on your private parts and plant the insects. That's what the story is all about.
It's a good one.
Yeah, so in a sense, in our struggle for freedom, the greatest gain, the greatest achievement we're looking up to is attaining independent Southern Sudan. All these problems, poor representation, misbehavior of some officials, even of our soldiers, are the irritating insects working on our testicles, obstructing us from spearing the elephant. Let us spear the elephant. Let us move forward. So I'm delighted to see you just in Lapu. You're most welcome to Juba. I'm happy also that you brought greetings from our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. It's very encouraging, and we should keep on exchanging ideas which will strengthen our unity. Now, the important thing I would want, or the message which I would want you to take back to our brothers and sisters is this. We are now on the threshold of our independence. This is the most glorious moment in our history, that for the first time we've been able to exercise our right to self-determination. And we are manifesting this in voting for our freedom that has now taken a number of days, and we are only left with 2 days. Everybody in Juba, in Southern Sudan at large, are extremely happy that this event is taking place at the time when the whole world has come to recognize that we have a right to decide our future. So given this reality, there is need for our brothers and sisters in the diaspora to think ahead of how each and every one of them would be able to contribute towards the formation of the new nation of Southern Sudan. We cannot do it without our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. So this requires that we must be together and work together to establish the kind of society, modern society, civilized society we would want to have. Because it is only independence that makes people alive. Otherwise, without independence, people would just be like animals. And for this reason, I would like our brothers and sisters in the diaspora to take this opportunity to come back home, to contribute according to your professions or specializations. You are badly needed to come home to help in the reconstruction of our homeland. This is what I want you to know, that even if we are separated by huge oceans or long distances. Spiritually, we are always together, and we want now practically to be together to build our new state. That is our first message. My second message is for you to look beyond our independence. Getting independence, achieving independence is easy, but sustaining it is the most difficult thing. And we cannot do it if we are not, or if we do not have a common vision. That common vision of a united people of Southern Sudan. President Becky.
Let me say thank you very much indeed to, first of all, our discussant who does not want to be a discussant. Maybe we'll say something about what the important points that he made. But let me try and deal with these questions that have been raised. Let me start with the last one. You know, today is the 7th of January 2011. And in 2 days' time, the people of Southern Sudan vote in their referendum. How did we get here? We got here because of a very sustained struggle, as I was saying, a very sustained struggle waged by the people of South Sudan, including the SPLM, SPLA. Struggle started much earlier, and that's how we got here. And what is it that will make it possible for everybody to honor the agreement? It's the strength of the Sudanese people. I think it's basically generally wrong for us to delegate our future to other people. See, the right to self-determination is the right to determine your own future. And please don't delegate that to the African Union. You must say, we as the Southern Sudanese who have fought as hard as we have are going to make absolutely certain that the CPA is honored. And then maybe you can then say, what support will the AU give us to achieve that objective? It's very, very important to understand this concept of self-determination is to say, I want to take the future into my own hands. So I think that's the first point I would like to make with regard to that. So let's really move away from this notion that there is somebody outside of ourselves as Southern Sudanese who is going to defend our own freedom. We have to defend it ourselves. Now, President Bashir was here in Juba 3 days ago, something like that. And he made statements here which, from everybody we've spoken to, both in Southern Sudan and elsewhere in the country, has said these were important commitments that were made. I'm sure our colleague there who said he had heard a speech made by Mustafa Ismail in Kassala is correct. You might have heard that statement. But we are proceeding from the positions that are taken with us on a daily basis in our interaction with the leadership of all of Sudan, including the leadership here in the south and leadership in the north. And what that leadership is saying is that it is indeed very important to honor the agreements contained in the CPA. Our colleague says the CPA has not been honored. I contest that. That's wrong. There's a long war that went on here in the south. Starting in 1955, ended with the Addis Ababa agreements, resumed again in 1983. And since the CPA was signed, there has not been any war. That at least has been honored, and I think we need to say to ourselves as Sudanese, congratulations that we've made sure that the war between the North and the South came to an end. Now to say it's not been honored is of course incorrect. Otherwise the war would have been continuing now if the CPA had not been honored. And indeed we would not have had this referendum which is starting in 2 days' time. The point that was raised about ABA is correct. We must again say it is very important that as part of the implementation of the CPA, the ABA protocol must be respected. And therefore action needs to be done in order to ensure that the objectives spelled out in the ABA are fulfilled. Now, so indeed, this is one of the outstanding matters. In terms of our own mandate, this is one of the issues that we have to attend to. And so indeed, we have been engaged in discussions with both the leadership of the SPLM and the leadership of the NCP at the very, very highest levels to resolve this matter. It has to be resolved and will be resolved. It's certainly not been forgotten. So that discussion will continue between the two parties, between the two signatories, and they were quite certain that the matter will be resolved. There was a question that was raised about why no involvement of civil society in these post-referendum arrangement negotiations. I'm not sure that we can answer that question. I think I see the Minister Dengalo here, part of the leadership of the SPLM. You should ask him why the SPLM is not inviting civil society to participate in the meetings. No, the post-referendum arrangement and negotiations are like all of these other negotiations, are based on respect for what is contained in the CPA. And what is contained in the CPA is the signatories of the government of Sudan and the SPLM which entered into these agreements. So when we say we are following up to ensure the implementation of those agreements, we go to these two principles. But I'm quite certain that if members of the civil society wanted to get engaged with that process, they should indeed approach those signatories. There's a question that was raised about why there are no women as members of our panel. When the question was asked, I tried to remember, as I said at the beginning, this is a panel made up of former heads of state. I was trying to think which Maybe let's wait until the president of Liberia retires. The question was posed about what next with regard to the post-referendum arrangements. The two parties continue to be engaged with each other with regard to all outstanding matters. As I was saying, for instance, with regard to the matter of ABA, it's continued engagement about that. I'm saying respecting the ABA protocol to ensure that that matter is resolved. Similarly, there's continued engagement between the two parties about the issue of the demarcation of the north-south border, and that would include resolution of those parts of the north-south border which have not yet been finalized, determined, delineated, and so the discussions continue with regard to those matters as well. There's a whole range of matters with regard to the post-referendum arrangements, which, as you know, were identified in the South Sudan Referendum Act. There are matters that have got to do with the economy, with security, with citizenship, and so on. And all of those matters are matters that are being discussed. And I'm quite certain that you're also aware that the two parties have been engaged in discussions to adopt a framework document. That framework document addresses quite a number of those post-referendum arrangement issues. So that engagement is continuing, and quite clearly, again, it's obvious that those discussions need to conclude before the 9th of July, so that indeed, because it's post-referendum arrangements, all of the things are put in place that need to be put in place. And that includes a discussion on the question of the national debt. The question was asked about what will happen to the debt question. That's one of the matters that is under discussion. We ourselves as a panel have looked at this question in detail because you need to identify who is owed how much, since when, how much is capital, how much is interest, and all of that. I'm saying we ourselves as a panel are looking at that same question in detail because it is quite clear that is one of the critical matters that needs to be addressed in the context of the post-referendum arrangements. So that also is work in progress. The questions that have been raised about the role of the African Union. As all of us know, the African Union is made up of the independent states of our continent. And I'm quite sure that if South Sudan indeed votes for secession, an independent state is formed later this year. As I was saying, it will become the 54th state on the continent and indeed a member of the African Union. Which of course has got its own rules. One of the principal instruments of the African Union is its Constitutive Act. That Constitutive Act says what are the aims and the objectives, the principles, the values, and so on of the African Union, and puts in place various processes by which to ensure that the member states respect those principles and objectives, etc. Now, obviously, we don't have time to discuss these questions about the interventions of the African Union in various matters. But I think bearing in mind that this is an organization of many states, an organization which operates in a democratic fashion, therefore decisions will be taken in that democratic fashion within the African Union, depending on the views that would be expressed by the different states. Now, my own view is that indeed the African Union has been trying very hard to make sure that indeed these principles which it upholds are respected. Let me give you an example of this. You are familiar with this long war that took place in Liberia. A very long war, very destructive, lots of people killed, a very cruel war. ECOWAS, the West African states, assisted by the African Union, intervened in that matter to stop the war. To stop the war and to create the possibility for Liberia not only to achieve peace, but to transform itself into a democratic country. The ECOWAS and the AU engaged that process for quite a long time. And one of the things that was done was to discuss at some length with the then president of Liberia, Charles Taylor, to say, as part of the process of finding a resolution to this Liberian conflict, it was the view of the AU, of ECOWAS, that perhaps he needs to step down and allow particular processes to proceed. It took a long time to engage that discussion.
ولكن سيد محمد
Final work to the
Final work.
final work to the freedom. Final work to our own freedom.
باي باي لمنكورة يا أخي.
منكوري باي باي.
أنت يا شاب. يا شاب. باي باي العرب.
أنا اسمك أولا أنت من وين؟
أنا لواء رك معاش أليسون مناني مدايا من المنعدلين في حركة عنيانيا. اليوم بالنسبة لي يوم سعيد. نحن وصلنا للمرحلة الأخيرة في نضال طويل فقدنا فيها عدد كبير من أبناء جنوب، رجالا ونساء. هم مات من أجل هذا اليوم، من أجل الاستقلال بتاع الجنوب، وعلى رأسهم المناضل الشهيد دكتور جون جارانج دي مابيور، هو أسس اليوم اللي نحن فيها دي. ولذلك واحد سعيد جدا إنه الله خلوه إنه يصل ليوم ده، عشان هو يقدر يعني يصوت الاستقلال بتاع جنوب السودان. ده كل إرادة الله. لذلك واحد بيشكر شعب السودان، ونحن بنطلب منهم إن هم يصوتوا بهدوء وبدون أي مشاكل، ويجي بأعداد كبير. كل الناس اللي سجلوا لازم يجوا ويصوتوا من أجل الاستقلال بتاع جنوب السودان، لأنه ده بقى حق مقبول علينا بحكم الدستور وبحكم الاتفاقية بتاعت CPA. والناس الآن بيعبروا عن هذا الحق من خلال تصويت وصناديق الاقتراع. وأنا سعيد جدا إنه نحن إن شاء الله بالقبض بتاع مجهود بتاع الله نحن هنبني دولة قوية، دولة متماسكة، دولة هيساعد هذا المنطقة ده، وهيساعد أفريقيا، هيساهم في كل المجالات المختلفة. ونحن إن شاء الله هنوحد شعبنا خلف الحكومة بتاعتنا برئاسة الأخ سلفا كير، نمشي لقدام ونبني دولة. انتهينا من مرحلة التصويت وتحقيق الاستقلال، لكن المرحلة الجاية مرحلة صعبة بيحتاج لوحدة. نحن كلنا سنشتغل مع بعض سنأسس الدولة الجديدة. نحن ما عندنا مشكلة مع أخواننا في الشمال، وهم إن شاء الله هنتعاون معهم. عندنا أطول حدود معهم، لكن هنتعاون معهم ونعيش هم في الشمال ونحن في الجنوب بإذن الله. بارك الله.
السلامة يا رب. لكانوا في بلد جاد ما تعبين. This is an historic day.
باي 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 يلا يلا قطر برا. ما نجيب للناس اكل وول فود بروجرام ها لا انا بتجي ويني باي 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 انت اخر واحد هنا باي باي توالي ارفع خطك ده فوق كريد ده ايوه تمام ارفع كريد ده فوق كريد بتاعك ده كريد اقلب ايوه thank you the other way around
سوق عبد الله فضل المولى
ايوه
من ابناء جبنة بري
ايوه
الجنوب انفصل بصوت وباسم يسوع المسيح انفصلنا وانا بحب انه كل اي جنوبي في جنوب كل يعرف نفسه ويتحرر نفسه ماشيين نحرر الجنوب كلهم برا وده اخر الايمان ماشيين زي الناس قال لنا انه الناس بيطلع برا من القف انما ماشيين نطلع برا من كشم البحر ماشيين فوق للبحر فربنا يشكر الله كثير جنوبين منفصلين واننا ده حاجه واقعه قدامنا والسلام عليكم.
في البدايه انا بشكر ربنا وبشكر شعب جنوب السودان كله اللي وقفوا لحد الليله نحن جينا في اخر مرحله انا بحتكي دي مرحله نهايه اللي بكون هنا مناس الشمال. يوم ده ما جاي سعيد يوم ده جاي لنضال طويل وتضحية الأخوان بتاعنا أبواتنا كل عمل فنحن سعيدين الليلة ده عشان نحن كلنا هنا عشان نجي كلنا نجي نكرر مسيرنا ده مسير اللي احنا كنا منتظرين ونحن كنا ما بنعرف لكن ربنا وقف وربنا مشاعب بتاعنا وربنا مع أبطال بتاعنا هو جابوا الليلة يوم ده. فيوم ده بالنسبة لنا ده يوم عظيم يوم اللي احنا من منذ بداية السودان ما سألونا نحن كنا احتجاج بتاعنا وين ده يوم نحن نيجي نكرر مسير بداية عشان نكون براي كدولة عشان نحن نقدر نمسك نفوسنا بندون مع أخوان بتاعنا هناك كلنا نحن مواطن درجة رابع مواطن درجة خامس ده نحن نجي نكرر عشان نكون مواطن حر في بلد بتاعي. فأنا ما عندي كتير ده يوم ما بيتعبر يوم ما صحي ده يوم الجاب بالنضال بأبطال نحن برضو في نفس الزمن في نفس اللحظة نحن نذكر أبطال بتاعنا الماتوا لأجل اليوم ده. وإن شاء الله هو الوفاء بدوم ما ماشي ساكت لكن إنما نحن الليلة هم ماشيين نحن بنوصل المسيرة بدوم مسيرة بدوم بالكريد في يدنا ده نحن الليلة بنكرر باي باي لخرطوم نحن نكون شعب أحرار. شكرا جزيلا.
لحظة
لا بشير بار اليوم لا شمال بار اليوم عاش دولة الجنوب وعاش دولة الجنوب وعاش دولة الجنوب. باي باي يا بشير نحن مشينا خلاص يا بشير الجنوب بقى دولة يا بشير. باي باي يا بشير. لا استعمار بعد اليوم. عاشت جنوب السودان بحرية والعدالة. لا استعمار بعد اليوم. لا شماليين بعد اليوم. عاشت دولة جنوب بحرية، وعاشت جنوب السودان كدولة، وعاشت جنوب السودان بالتنمية. لا بشير بعد اليوم. لا بشير بعد اليوم. لا بشير بعد اليوم.
يما انا كويس شو الحلو.
That one is a tarmac road from, it's big tarmac, almost tarmacking from Nimule to Juba. I am His Excellency Honorable Peter Otim Kalo, the Minister of Transport and Roads, who is currently the acting governor of Eastern Equatoria State. The government of Eastern Equatoria State, first of all, before I go to the policies, I have His Excellency Honorable Joram Surur, the Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Animal Production with me here, and I have Honorable Oliver Mori Benjamin from National Assembly. I have Jeff Hamilton, who is with us. I have also Justin Lopo, who is also with us, and I have advisor to the governor, His Excellency Alphonse Moras is also with us. And the policy of Eastern Equatoria State government are only 6. Number 1 is referendum. In referendum, with the state government, the community of Eastern Equatoria State by themselves say we are going to contribute 1 day salary for 6 months until December for referendum purposes. That came alone from the hearts of the community of Eastern Equatoria State. And they are also ready to register and vote. And we are sure in this referendum on the 9th January 2011, the community of Eastern Equatoria said they must lead. Out of these 10 states in Southern Sudan, Eastern Equatoria should be number 1. And we expect the same to our people who are in diaspora. If those who are not going to, who is not sure that he will vote, should not register. This is our advice to our brothers who are outside. If you are sure that you are not going to vote, and the center where you are supposed to vote is far from where you are, don't register, because you will not have transport to reach those areas. And this is my advice to our sons and daughters in the diaspora. Number 2 is good governance. The policy of Eastern Equatoria, number 2 is good governance. In good governance, we must ensure that the rule of law, the transparency, the accountability, the equity, representation, responsiveness, consensus-oriented decisions are in place. And in the rule of law, we want the people of Eastern Equatoria to walk freely on the road. Even if you walk at night, nothing should happen to you. And that's why we are talking about good governance. And you have seen the few hours you are in Eastern Equatoria State, you have seen for yourself the development that is taking place. This where we are sitting now is the Ministry of Education. You have seen we have buildings going on. We have a building that is the Ministry of Social Development is on, Ministry of Information is on, Ministry of Transport and Road is on, and so many ministries are on. So these are things that you can see for yourself that the people of Eastern Equatoria is very serious with the development. Number 3 is security. I think in the field of security, we have reduced the security wrestling rates. The wrestling rates have reduced. And even the insecurity that used to happen on the roads have reduced tremendously. So we are building up on the security also. Number 4 is food security. This in food security, we want to ensure that Eastern Equatoria comes back as those days as the food basket for the Southern Sudan, as they used to compete with the UAE. And the Minister of Agriculture has just returned from China, and he has a lot of materials that he brought, and he has started sensitizing all the staff and all the counties, the importance, explaining to them the importance of agriculture and what they have seen in Japan, and they want our people to be fully engaged in agriculture as #1 priority in the state. You go to the field. Number 5 is the social service deliveries, the roads. You visited Katire Road and you have seen that the roads are going. Work on Magui Road is going. Work on Magui Road is 56 kilometers, and after finishing Tori to Magui, they will proceed to Magui Pajong Mamoromo, 68 kilometers. Work is on progress, and you have Tori Capueta, 144 kilometers. Road is work is on progress, and we are now just signed a the GTZ also has just signed a contract, and Nesitu Torid, which is the worst road, which you take 8 hours to reach Torid, which is only 69 kilometers. Work will start soon, and we expect that the road the time that is wasted 6 to 7 hours, I think will reduce to 2 hours. This is also another achievement that we are working on, and the road from Capueta to Nadapal Kenya border is on progress. They have reached Narus, and they are only left with a few kilometers to finish. That's a 90-kilometer road, and we have also Kiala Ikotos, Seretenya to Uganda. Work is going on. So these are some of the road activities taking place now currently, and we expect that all the town roads in each county is to be done. Survey also have to be done. So we are planning on that. That one we want to push it to 2011, so that those areas are covered. And we have in the field of health, we have a lot of health hospitals, and we need more health services. The counties do not have enough facilities to help the counties in the field of health. And in the field of education, we need a lot of things. We need libraries and books for mathematics and science students. We need laboratories. This is now a modern world. We need laboratories in all senior secondary schools. All this. And we need better construction in primary schools. Other areas, still the children are under the trees. So these are some of the things that we need. You, when you are going back, you have to tell them. And the state, number 6, the policy is fighting corruption. The state currently has embarked on a serious ghost names, and we have over 1,000 ghost names have been found. And this one will will reduce money going to people without working. And we are serious on this, and we shall still fight on that. That is why, if you see on my badge here, it is corruption-free country. So we are starting with our state. So we want our state to be corruption-free state, so that the little money that we shall accrue, it all goes for development. And we are appealing to our people who are abroad, who have now acquired the skills and the knowledge, to come back home and give those knowledges in these various fields that needs the human resource, And these are few things. They must come home, and we need them. We need them, because when we team up with them, the development people are talking from outside, Eastern Equatoria will accrue it, and we shall be #1 out of the 10 states in Southern Sudan. This is in brief to give you the highlight, and you have seen for yourself how we work as a team. You have seen the Minister of Agriculture here, the advisor is here. When we have visitors, we always come together and explain as a team, a collective message that we pass always as Eastern Equatoria State. If you see our government of Eastern Equatorial State, the representation, I think, is one of the best in the whole 10 states, because every area is represented. Every area, and we have to give appreciation to our governor, because when he was before appointment, he has to look critically that each area is represented in the cabinet. And this one is one of the most state that has given all the rights of the counties. With this, I end here. This is the brief message that I want you to take to the community in Canada and in other places, the diaspora. To the US, and other places, UK, all this, Norway. Pass this message, and we need our people of Eastern Equatoria to come back home and work with us so that we develop this state. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, good day wherever you are. It is different time. My name is Charles Buksa. I am the State Minister for Agriculture, Cooperatives and Environment in Western Equatoria State. I'm actually pleased to get in contact with you through my colleague Justin was just come from there, and he informed me that there's a large community of our people from Western Equatoria in Mayan. I don't know whether I've pronounced that name correctly. Portland. Yeah. Really, I have the pleasure now to meet him, and I just want to communicate to you a message. In Western Equatoria, our immediate priority is the referendum. We are working hard, talking to our people to prepare themselves and to vote for separation. And that message is getting through. Our only worry is the LRA, which is destabilizing the wrong people, killing them, and we are afraid they might interfere with the referendum. So I just need to inform you that you really need to take the issue of LRA very seriously at international level, because our people are dying, and these are innocent people. These are farmers, and they cannot stay in their areas and produce. Those of you who know the border areas between Congo, DRC Congo, Southern Sudan, and Central African Republic, all that corridor along the border, right from Maridi up to Sorsiup and beyond. These areas are destabilized. People are not producing, and you can be surprised to see that we are receiving relief, which we did not do during the war. The 20 years of war, people in those areas never even received relief. But now, after peace, our people are subjected to relief and hardship. So this is a very strong issue that we are all concerned about, and we must work very, very vigilantly to ensure that actually peace returns to this place. LRA is no longer there, so that our people can continue to live normal lives. Back to the referendum issue, we will continue to work very, very seriously until we vote on the 9th of January next year. As the Minister of Agriculture, I also want to appeal to you to prepare yourselves to invest in agriculture. You know, we have a potential there, but you can't imagine some of the people only eat once a day, and very poor quality of food. So you need to support us, get people who can come and invest in our area in agriculture. And also I need to emphasize on the issue of education. You know, our boys and girls are not learning anymore. They have taken to things what they call boda, so they hardly go to school. So we also ask you to invest in education. If you are able to, you can get some people who can come there to invest in education. Briefly, that's the message I can give you. In case any of you wants to get in touch with me, my phone number is 0913 195 That's the.
Repeat again, please. Repeat.
Yeah, my phone number is. Put the country code. It is +249 913 195 602. My email is cyoere@yahoo.com. That is cyoere@yahoo.com in small letters. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Minister.
What we just request is that our brothers and sisters in diaspora continue lobbying for the respect and recognition of the outcome, because we are convinced that come 9th January, we are going to become an independent state. And that decision shall be democratic as stipulated in the CPA. It shall be peaceful, and therefore we shall call for you who have access there to continue advocating so that the will of the people of Southern Sudan, or South Sudan for that matter, shall be respected, organized, and hopefully we enter into the communion of the nations in this world, the UN, or AU, and the other international bodies.
I get you.